Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Gamertime Shows podcast back again. We are back. It is week 3. Yes, that's right. If you've been paying attention, you don't understand what happened to week 2. We had a little bit of technical difficulties and we could not post our week 2 episode. But we are here for week 3 and I have a little bit of insider information here for what we did record on our week 2 podcast last week that none of you are able to hear. But Big Al, my co-host, is here once again. Big Al, say what's up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Yes, like Matt said, we had technical difficulties for week 2, but we're happy to bring you week 3, and you stick with us, we'll stick with you. Everything will be golden.
All right, so the insider information that I would like to bring up is that we did tally our picks from last week in week 2, and I just want to say that I had a stellar week. Mr. Moshes, our statistician, what was my record from last week, week 2?
I believe, Matthew, your satisfaction of your picks last week were 11 and 5.
Boom! 11 and 5, ladies and gentlemen. 11 and 5. And my rival, who did? Big Al Moshes. What was your record?
Well, currently in the week 2, my record was an even 8 and 8. Listen, it's 2 weeks, we got 14 or 15 left in the remaining. I'm horrible at math, but we got a long way to go, and I have a good feeling about this week.
All right, we had a pretty good time recording week 2. We apologize once again. Technical difficulties. We weren't able to get that to you, but I promise we will be here for week 3. Starting tomorrow night is the Thursday night game. Big Al, you want to kick it off? Who's playing?
All right. Well, we start with tomorrow night the Tennessee Titans visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars in a harsh division matchup. Who do you got?
Yeah, Jaguars at home against the Titans. Oh, man. Well, there's a little bit of some Hollywood script writing going on there in Jacksonville lately with their star corner asking for a trade. So, if you saw, did you see him get into an argument on the bench last week?
I did. I saw some of those highlights. I was actually away on Sunday, but I did see some of that stuff, and it's pretty brutal between him and the coach.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey. He has decided to ask for a trade, which is, big for other teams. He's the best corner in the league, probably. Well, either first or second, with the Patriots guy over there in New England. But, yeah, so he's one of the best corners in the NFL right now, so a lot of teams got to be licking their lips for him. But back to the pick. I would assume he's going to be playing. He wants to be there for his teammates, so Jalen Ramsey will be suiting up for the Jaguars at home against the Titans. I am going to go with the Jaguars at home because I feel like the Titans kind of got a little fluky there week 1 against Cleveland, and Jaguars played great D last week against Houston. So, yeah, I like Jaguars at home.
Okay. I was on the edge because, it's week 3 and I think teams are still figuring out who they are. Because, Tennessee started well week 1 and then, they kind of struggled a little bit at home. So, and, as we mentioned last week about the Minshew from Washington State, their Jacksonville's backup, looks like he's going to be starting again, and I think he's a good quarterback. So I like their defense. I will go home and home with you. I'll go Jacksonville at home.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
All right, so we move on to Sunday, and first game up on the docket, we got my team team that I've stuck with for 2 weeks, and now I'm going against them. Cincinnati Bengals going to the wild Buffalo Bills. Any chance they can upset the Bills on the road?
Yeah, the surprising 2-0 Bills right now. They got their quarterback Josh Allen playing pretty well lately. He still has a lot of work to do, but they've got an easy week going up against the Bengals team. I mean, this Bengals team's pretty bad, so I definitely like the Bills at home. The Bengals you got an injured AJ Green. They've got nice receivers, coming up in the ranks, but their star AJ Green still being out for the next couple months maybe. But yeah, I like Buffalo at home. I think that their defense is always pretty good, and their quarterback is getting better by the week. So I like Buffalo at home.
Okay. As I said, I stuck with Cincinnati for 2 weeks, and they've embarrassed me. So I gotta go. I don't see them doing much here against this team. The Bills, won against the Jets, and they won against, surprisingly, the Giants, which was actually a shock to me because I thought the Giants would turn it around at home. But now that Buffalo just made a good run at it, and I think they'll do well at home. I'll take the Bills.
Yeah.
Now we got your team. The Denver Broncos are not at home anymore, and they're going on the road to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field and battling Mr. Rogers and being in his neighborhood. Who do you got? Green Bay, Denver.
Yeah, this one, Denver's not playing well lately. They're struggling against. They're really struggling just to put together a good defense. And going into the season, I think that was what was supposed to be the good part of the team. But they're still struggling after 5 preseason games and 2 regular season games. So they got to figure something out here. But who isn't struggling is that of Mr. Aaron Rodgers. He seems to be on a tear to start the season, and had a great game against who did they play last week? Minnesota. Yeah, the Vikings. That's right. He started out really hot in that game, throwing a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter, second quarter, and whatnot. I actually see that continuing in this game. I just think that Denver, it's almost like I feel like they're missing a piece on defense, but I'm not sure. I have Green Bay winning at home, but actually not too much of a blowout. I think it'll be a decent game, close game, but in the end, Denver doesn't have the offense to keep up with Green Bay, so I got Green Bay.
Yeah, that's a fair pick. I don't know. Before I give you my intake here, do you want to explain what happened with the Bears in those last couple seconds there?
Oh, that was kind of disgusting. Like it was pretty bad. I mean, the one they called roughing the passer on Bradley Chubb, where I'm pretty sure his arm was still moving forward when Chubb was pretty much under his armpit. Like it was not late. It wasn't late at all. But I guess with the new rule, I call it the Clay Matthews rule, where you can't fall on top of the quarterback, you can't land on the quarterback. And if you see the replay, he did do that. So I guess it's a stupid rule. Don't get me wrong, but it was a pretty crazy collapse there at the end.
All right, I thought I didn't know about the whole last time out with 1 second left. That's confusing, but
I didn't think he called it in time. I felt like there was like just over a second, or maybe even half a second, and then by the time the refs probably saw anybody calling timeout at that point, I felt like it was zeros. But whatever.
Yeah, well, I understand. Getting back to my pick here, I was as you said, Green Bay started off hot, and I was actually getting pissed at Aaron Rodgers because he he wasn't throwing the ball to Devontae Adams, my fantasy receiver, so I wasn't getting anything there, even though I am 2-0 in fantasy. Thank you. I think that's going to continue, like you said, and, Broncos might keep it closer, but Green Bay wins at home.
Okay.
Now we got the Atlanta Falcons coming off a crazy win on Sunday night, going to Indy. Indy's good at home, but they're up and down right now, and Atlanta's trying to find themselves. Who do you got at Indy?
Yeah, Falcons coming into town. They pulled it off last week against the Eagles on Sunday Night Football, and there was a Julio Jones sighting there for Sunday night. I mean, he pretty much was a lot more than a sighting. He was there and he was in charge, man. That last play, they said he reached 20 miles per hour on his touchdown, which is just, I can't fathom a human being running 20 miles an hour, but that's insane. All right, Falcons coming to Indy to play the Colts. The Colts got a win, I'm pretty sure, last week, which, it's almost fool's gold, to be honest. Like, I just don't see the kind of like the full package for the Colts without Andrew Luck, you know what I mean? But I think that I've got the Falcons winning this one. I'm not sure how many points are going to be put up. I think Julio still has another great game, but I think it'll be just enough to win. Colts will play good defense, stuff like that, but I think the Falcons are just going to be too much for them.
Yeah, once again, I have to agree with you. Like I said, the Colts do play well at home, as they showed out opponents last year at home, so it'll be interesting to see how they do against weapons with Julio and Ridley and Freeman and those boys. I think Matty Ice found a little bit of rhythm, and actually, he didn't have the best game because the Eagles did put a lot of pressure on him, but I think he finds a better time this one on the road, and Falcons take it in Indy.
Okay.
So, moving on to a really hard one that I've been up and down with all week. It's a battle of quarterbacks, Matt. The new look Ravens with Lamar Jackson travel to one of the loudest places to play in Kansas City. Lamar Jackson and Mahomes, who do you got? It's going to be a battle, high scoring, we hope. Does Kansas City, do you think Kansas City wins this one at home?
Yes, I do. I think Kansas City's a better team. I think the Ravens probably have a better defense, but I don't think that defense is good enough to stop Mahomes. This is probably the battle of the extremely, extremely early MVP finalists right now. And Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are probably the number 1 and number 2 right there. But this is going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be, yeah, you know what, I will say it. I think this is going to be upwards of 60 points total. I want to say a final of like maybe 37-34. But it'll be a decent, high scoring games, but Mahomes is too much, man. He's just insane. This guy's incredible. He's got over 800 yards in the first 2 weeks, and 7 touchdowns. So I got the Chiefs easy.
Okay. I think you're right about the Ravens defense. They are a good defense. Patrick Mahomes went on the road in the division game and put up high points against the Oakland Raiders. I know it's the Raiders, but still, doing this stuff on the road is pretty impressive. So I think he does play well enough to get the home win. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a good game, but Kansas City will pull it out at the end.
Okay.
Now we got the Oakland Raiders, the team that just got beat by the KC, traveling to the new Minneapolis stadium, battle the Vikings. Can go either way, but who do you like in Minnesota?
I'm going to go with one of my first upsets of the season, in my opinion. And I'm going to say that the Oakland Raiders are going to go into Minnesota and get the win. I don't have a lot supporting this theory, but I think it's more solely based around my lack of trust and lack of, what's the word? I just don't think the Minnesota Vikings are that good of a football team. I think Dalvin Cook is a great running back. He's showing out so far. But Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback. I'm sorry, he's not. He doesn't deserve the contract that he has. But the Minnesota Vikings just aren't. Their defense is okay. I think that they're supposed to be performing better than what they are, and I think that they're kind of just satisfactory at this point. So literally the only thing going for Minnesota right now, in my opinion, is Dalvin Cook. So I don't think it's good enough, and I actually think that your boy Jacobs there in Oakland is going to run wild, and I'm going to project at least 100 rushing for him, and Carr to put up, I'll say 3 touchdowns. And I think that
3 touchdowns on that Vikings day.
Yeah, yep. So I got the Raiders, definitely. Big upset.
Right. Ooh, man. Like I said, to me it's a toss-up game. I don't think that I do like the Raiders, but it's just hard to battle Vikings at home. I think, plus I think they're a little bit slightly better team than Oakland. They still got the dynamic duo of wide receivers and Dalvin Cook. I think he has a big game too. I think, like you said, Oakland will put up points, but I'll take the Minnesota Vikings and finally disagree with you.
All right.
So now we're going to a game where this is kind of like last week, and I think the home team's second string can beat this team, but division game, Jets are going to New England. I mean, any hope there, or is this just a lock?
So another tidbit about last week's podcast, that when last week, everybody knows this now, that the Patriots blew out the Miami Dolphins, and we were making our predictions for that game, and I think I predicted it pretty accurately, actually. I don't think I predicted the exact score, but I had a blowout for the Patriots over the Dolphins, and I didn't think that there was a worse team than the current Miami Dolphins. And don't get me wrong, the Jets are a better team than the Dolphins right now, but it is not by much. Okay, so Sam Darnold goes down with mono, and then Trevor Siemian comes in, and what did he do? He tore up his knee or ankle or something like that, and now he's out for the year. And now they've got some practice squad guy coming on to try and play against the defending champions. Like, come on, dude. So you still have
Luke Falk out of Washington State University. Luke Falk, number 3.
Yeah. So
he's ready for a battle.
Yeah. So you still have Le'Veon Bell, but he didn't even do that much against the Cleveland Browns Monday night. But yeah, this is in New England too, right?
It is.
Yeah. So I've got the Patriots winning big again. I feel like this has got to be the easiest schedule for a defending champion in history. I mean, this is crazy.
Right. Yeah. No one expected this type of thing, and I hope someone gives them some competition in the middle of the end of the year. But they're looking hot right now. I gotta definitely call a lock with you on this one. this, Tom Brady's still doing his thing, and that defense is playing better than ever, right? Shutting out. They had 4 interceptions last week, which I'm loving it because I have them on my fantasy team, so that's great. It's definitely a New England victory there, up in Foxborough.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we come back a little bit further down the coast from Foxborough, and we're in the city of brotherly love, where the roar of the Lions are gonna come into Philadelphia, and I don't see him taking a bite out of the Eagles in this one. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think the Eagles bounce back pretty nicely. They, like I said earlier with the Falcons, I feel like they had the Falcons there for a little bit, but the Falcons pulled it out. So I think the Eagles, they come back home after being on the road, and I think their energy is back. After their first loss of the season, they're kind of like, okay, we're better than this, so they're gonna come back full force, and they're going up against a lesser team here with Detroit, but and Detroit is just lacking. Their running back is playing well. I can't remember the name, but
Johnson.
Yes, Johnson. That's it. He's got a decent start to the season, but other than that, Stafford's got like no weapons again, and it almost feels like this is a similar story to Green Bay, where Rodgers is a great quarterback and Stafford's not Rodgers, but Stafford's still a pretty decent quarterback. But the team in the front office just isn't putting any weapons around him to help him succeed. The same with Rodgers and Green Bay. But yeah, Detroit once again just not one of those teams that the Eagles are just definitely a better team, and with Philly being at home after a loss, they're going to come back energized, and Eagles win by probably at least 10 points in my opinion.
Okay, fair point. I know the Eagles are actually have a couple of their receivers that are going to be out for this game. Deshaun Jackson and I think Jeffrey as well. But despite that, they still have good depth, and they need to. That line needs to protect Wentz a little bit more than they did last week. He took some heavy shots there.
He did.
So
yeah.
I know they mentioned Philly being one of the better offensive line teams. They just, they are still good. Just got to protect them a little bit more in this game. But I still think they get the win, as you say, pretty easily, by 10 or so points. And that defense is going to be ready to get on Stafford. So don't see much from them.
Yeah.
And we got and next game up is Cam Newton's actually a game time decision for this game in Arizona. Battling Kyler Murray. If Cam is not there, whether he is there or he isn't there, do you see him beating Arizona?
Well, okay, so if Cam isn't there, I have Arizona getting their first win of the season. Kyler Murray's first win of his career, and I see Kyler running wild finally. I think that they are keeping him under wraps and saving his athleticism and legs for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but I think that they're keeping his run game under wraps right now. But bold pick here. Even if Cam Newton plays, I think I'm still going Arizona. I think that Cam Newton, even if he plays, he's going to be hurt. He's not going to be the same. And from what I'm hearing, I heard a stat earlier this week that he is struggling to throw the ball like further than 30 yards or something. It's
really?
Yeah, and he's got like a cannon for an arm, so like it's very confusing. But yeah, apparently he's just beat up everywhere, and he just doesn't look too good. So I don't see him playing, actually. I don't think he plays at all. And I don't think the rest of the Panthers are any other than Luke Kuechly and Run CMC, Christian McCaffrey. I think that Arizona takes it.
Okay. And I like that pick. As we were talking about Cam and not being able to throw the ball. As Stephen A. Smith on ESPN would say, his best friend Tim Tebow, if he can't throw the ball, then it's just about the same thing. So I like Kyler Murray at home. I think he's really gonna spread out that Panthers defense, and Christian McCaffrey will have a big game, but I see Arizona, whether Cam's out there or not, just taking this one at home and getting the victory.
Wow, we're agreeing a lot on these games.
Yeah, hey, it's a tough week, and it's so far we only have disagreed on one, but we'll pick it back up then. Let's see. Moving on, the Buffalo Bills. I know we just picked this game, but the Buffalo Bills just made the New York Giants go to their backup and bench one of the, as people call them, the most historical last names in football. Bench Eli Manning, and now Daniel Jones, the rookie, will go down to Tampa Bay and get his first start. Matt, they're 0-2, and Tampa Bay somehow beat Carolina. It's like, who gets the win, the rookie or the home team?
Well, like you just said, Tampa Bay got their win against Carolina last week, and that's a perfect example of why I think Arizona is going to beat Carolina this week. I just think they're that beat up that, I mean, they lost to Tampa Bay. But so Tampa Bay's the home team here against the Giants, and for whatever reason, I also heard another stat this week that the Giants play really, really well in Tampa Bay, historically, so. I think that there's a couple of guys that probably heard that stat as well, not just me, and they'll be going into this game with some energy. And I think with brand new rookie quarterback getting his first NFL start of his career, I think that the rest of the team is like, all right, man, let's get this guy a win for his first one. On top of that, I actually think Daniel Jones is pretty good too. So. I think that the Giants are going to get this one. I do. I don't think Tampa Bay is all that great, and I don't think Jameis Winston is the answer going forward, but that's a whole nother story. But, yeah, I got the Giants winning this one.
Okay. This, like I said, this is an up-and-down game for me because I don't know what... We both know, win or lose, we both know Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley.
Right.
He's going to have a great game.
Right.
And, I just, the new rookie here, Jones, still doesn't have many people to throw to, and just getting his first full game start. I think Tampa Bay builds off their road win in Carolina and had a few days off to prepare, so it'll be a back and forth game, but I'll take the home Tampa Bay team.
Okay.
Now this is interesting. The New England Patriots were favorite against the Jets this week by 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And this next game, this other team is favored by 21 points. The Miami Dolphins, who God knows if they're tanking or not, they're going to Dallas, where Dallas is 2-0. They just had some injuries, unfortunately, up in Washington that'll limit them. But they are 21-point favorites at home. You smell an upset, or does Dallas run with Zeke and Dak and just make it 3-0?
So, what was it? The Jets played the Browns on Monday night, and their safety for the Jets, Jamal Adams, is a great young safety. I believe he was a rookie last year, made the Pro Bowl in his first year or first 2 years. I forget, but they actually compared him to Brian Dawkins. I don't really see the comparison, but
Brian Dawkins.
yeah,
Wow.
but they also said there was another guy in the same category, and that would be a guy by the name of Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And at that time of the man saying that on the television, Minka Fitzpatrick was a Miami Dolphin. Okay? And the Miami Dolphins are, like I said last week, which none of you heard, but like I continue to say for most of the season, Miami Dolphins are an extremely bad football team. Okay? And after their week 1 loss, I think that, a lot of the guys very disappointed are saying that, they're coming to grips with and realizing how bad of a team it is, that some of them are actually asking to be traded. And apparently this past Monday night, one of them asked and got that wish granted. And Minka Fitzpatrick, an up-and-coming safety in football right now, was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think that's a great pickup for the Steelers. They had to give up, I believe, a first-round pick for it, but this leaves zero. I mean, literally nothing on the Miami Dolphin defense. They've got, I think, their best player on the entire team is their rookie left tackle or something like that. At least going forward, that's who your big piece going forward. This team is so bad, dude. I mean, I can't believe like how bad they are. I have them losing almost. It doesn't matter who they're playing against, but the Cowboys are a great team. They're off to a great start, and Dak Prescott looks like an MVP candidate. And Zeke got money, so he's happy. So I got the Cowboys big time.
Yeah, I do see a big victory for Dallas as well. I know a lot of people were saying, well, Dak's only got to face the Redskins and the Giants so far, and now the Dolphins. Yeehaw! Let's pump the brakes on the MVP talk. But hey, they're still professional teams, so they know what they're doing. It's not like these boys don't know how to play. So, like I said, they occurred some injuries with Michael Gallup, one of their star receivers. He's going to be out for 5 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
And also their starting safety, Xavier Woods, he's out for another 4. So, games moving forward are going to be a little bit more challenging. But because it's the Dolphins, I'll never say anything's possible, but I like Dallas at home.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, moving to the 4:30 games, we have the Deshaun Watson's Houston Texans going to Phillip Rivers' LA Chargers. That should be a very good game in LA. My pick might surprise you. Who do you like at
home? This is a very back and forth kind of game here. I'm not quite sure. Houston's offense has been very, very good. Deshaun Watson has been really, really good. Phillip Rivers is actually kind of a little, I don't want to say disappointing. I think he's a good quarterback and he's playing well, but a little bit lower than what normal expectations would be. I think I'm going to go with Houston. I think Houston's, they're competitive in both of their games so far. They've played well, so they're 1-1, but I think they're a better team than the Chargers. So I got Houston.
Yeah, so my pick actually didn't surprise you too much because I went with Houston as well.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Deshaun Watson, just like I said when he played the Saints the other week, I just said 2 plays, and I just trust the man, and I just think that going on the road, even though it's the Chargers, they always have a pretty decent defense. I think he finds a way to get it done, and holds that defense will hold Phillip Rivers for much of the game, but Watson gets it done at the end. Houston on the road.
Yeah.
And then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, unfortunately for Steelers fans, just lost their starting quarterback for the year, Big Ben, and now we're not sure about James Conner. They're traveling to a San Francisco team that I thought was going to start 0-2. They're actually 2-0. I'm a little confused. Pittsburgh, seems like the better team, but on the road without those guys, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Who do you like?
Yeah. This is another game that I've gone back and forth with as well. Like I said a few minutes ago, the Steelers added Minkah Fitzpatrick via trade, bolsters the defense a little bit, and he's a plug-and-play kind of guy, so he'll probably be playing right away. Like you said, Ben's out for the season, and Connor's questionable and stuff like that, but there's still Juju. He's adjusting to being the number one guy. I think I'm gonna go with the surprising 2-0 team, the 49ers, because you're right. I didn't think that they were gonna go 2-0 in their first 2 games, but they've been pulling it out, and Garoppolo hasn't played that great, but I think well enough. So being at home in San Fran, I think the Steelers are going to fall to 0-3. That's crazy.
Yeah, with the move of getting Mika, which I thought since the Cowboys lost Xavier Woods, I thought they would take a shot at him, but Pittsburgh got to him first, and they made that move to help their defense, and I don't know what that's a sign of, just because they lost some players there. It sounds like they're desperate for help, but yeah, and the Niners have been screwing me in these picks the last 2 weeks. So the way they've been playing, I'll take them at home against a Pittsburgh team that's nothing against Mason Rudolph, but I just don't see him getting it done on the road.
Yeah.
And he will be starting for the Steelers, so I think that Niners defense will be fired up.
Okay.
So now, Matt, we just talked about the Steelers and Big Ben.
Right.
And now we have to talk about the New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees.
Right.
What the heck is going on in the NFL with quarterbacks?
So
Foles, Ben, and Brees, and God knows who else. What's going on here? And this Brees team, they're giving a Brees into the 12th man in Seattle. Do you have a take on this quarterback issue? And then who do you like in the game?
Okay, so yeah, last week we had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks go down in the same day, and it's been a bit of an adjustment because I don't think either team, even though they had backups that they liked in Mason Rudolph and Taysom Hill in New Orleans, I'm not sure they were quite ready to take over. Well, obviously not, but so the Saints have to do what they have to do. Breeze, I don't think, is out for the whole year, so I think he's got probably a month and a half or so.
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah, okay. They have Bridgewater is getting the start, I think, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. They really, really like Taysom Hill out of BYU that they've had for, I think, 3 years now. And he's like this dual threat, Tim Tebow-ish kind of quarterback. But I think he's more athletic than Tebow was. So I think he's definitely going to get a lot of use this weekend. But I don't think it's going to be very good against the Seattle team. Seattle's at home, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I hate Seattle. I just don't like them. But I can't ignore that they're a pretty good team. So I got Seattle at home against a weak Saints team.
All right. Let's see. Like I said, I believe Teddy Bridgewater will be starting for the next 6 weeks, and I believe, these two teams in Seattle have an interesting history. They're back and forth. Saints win there, then I remember a playoff game where one of them was 9-7 and got a home playoff game, and it's crazy what these two teams get together. But being the quarter, look, the Saints still have they have Jared Cook, they have Michael Thomas. They got some players. They still got some talent on that offense, but it just will Teddy throw him the ball, and against the 12th man in Seattle, I think it's going to be hard for him to do. I'll take the Seahawks, and Russell Wilson has a big game.
Yeah.
Although I do like
Kamara.
I do like the Saints defense at times. I think they're still, although they gave up like 30-some to the Rams last week, but they still have a team, but just not good enough this week.
Right.
So now we talk about the Rams, and they're going to go into, I believe, Sunday Night Football in the Dog Pound.
The Dog Pound.
The Dog Pound. The team that just beat the New York Jets, for God's sake. They didn't just beat them. They clobbered them like 23-6 or something like that. And they're facing a Rams team who, has gotten healthier with some of their players back, and Jared Goff's back in the mix. So Rams going into Cleveland. Cleveland getting a big win. Who pulls it out Sunday Night Football?
Well, I actually have a little bit different of opinion there for the Browns. From what I'm hearing, I didn't stay up Monday night, but from what I'm hearing is that they got off to a slow start, and they kind of scrapped together a couple of second half touchdowns there to pull away from a very weak New York Jets team. I don't have that much faith in the Cleveland Browns. I was actually very excited going into the season because, I actually had them, making the playoffs. But I don't know what's going on here. They're not playing the way I thought they would be. Maybe it's just, a brand new team, brand new system, brand new everything. Kind of, they got to get used to it. Maybe that's it. But they seem to be having a hard go of it. Like I said, they got the win, so they're doing enough. But I think that they definitely could do more, a lot more. But so this Rams team, I feel like I know they're a good team, but I still feel like it's a big question mark because of Todd Gurley. Nobody really knows what exactly is going on with his knee. He was able to get back on the board last week and get a touchdown, and that really helped my fantasy team. But the Rams, I'm actually gonna go Cleveland at home, only because I think that this could be the week that they turn it around. I think that they finally start to get their season kind of kicked into gear here with a big-time opponent on a big-time stage in Sunday Night Football at home. The crowd's coming off a win. They're happy. I've got Cleveland over LA.
Cleveland over LA, huh?
Yeah.
Are you done with this? Are you done? Because I'm just making sure I have clarity over here. I heard you say Cleveland is going to get the win.
Yes,
correct?
Over the Rams.
Okay, I'm just waiting until you make some disgusting points, but listen, your hyped Cleveland team, yes, did they get the win in New York, Monday Night Football? Yes, they did. Congratulations, Baker and Odell. You did a great job against the Jets. For God's sake, come on, people. You beat the Jets, and you think they're all of a sudden they're turning around. You're smelling Mr. Kitchens is going to be cooking up some stuff in the kitchen for the LA Rams. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. You're wrong. All Rams all the way. It might be a close game in the beginning, but Rams just pull away. They're just too, even though they're on the road, they're just too good. And Mr. Kitchens can go back to the grill and fire something else up because he not this Sunday night. I'm sorry. Rams all the way.
All right, we'll see.
That leaves us with the Monday Night Football from Washington, D.C. And from what I hear, Dwayne Haskins might start.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, do you like this team with Dwayne Haskins going up against the Chicago Bears? Chicago Bears at Washington Redskins should be a fun one. Who's got it this week?
Well, this is an interesting one. Haskins getting his first start against one of the top defenses the best defense last year and one of the best defenses this year. That doesn't sound like a recipe for success. This Redskins team isn't the worst team in the league, but I think that they're a bottom seller team, and they've behaved that way so far. I know they're at home, but I don't think that means anything. I think they take the L this week, and Haskins. You'll see glimpses, but it won't be good enough against the Bears. The Bears' defense is too much for him. For a rookie quarterback getting his first playing time in his career, I got the Bears with the win.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I honestly heard it's just a rumor, so even if he doesn't play, I still think the Bears are a lot better, and they got some more talent. Surprisingly, Adrian Peterson is playing really well. He's showing people he's still got it, so they might do pretty well in the run game, but I think the Bears are too talented. They'll be on the roads Monday night and get the win.
Yeah, definitely. So that wraps up our Week 3 picks. Who do you have as a kind of just a standout player for the week?
Standout player.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say just I'm gonna go Jordan Howard.
For the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Wow. Okay.
I think they get back to the run game this week, and he's gonna have a big game against Detroit. They don't necessarily, being down a couple of receivers, they don't necessarily need to throw the ball to win that game, I think. So I think Jordan Howard gets it going, and him and Miles Sanders split some nice carries, and he stands out tall against the Lions.
Okay, all right. I'm personally going with the MVP favorite right now, Mr. Patrick Mahomes. I think he's going to get caught up in a little bit of a quarterback duel this week against Lamar Jackson, and I think he's going to want to pick it up a notch. And I think we've got another 400 yards, 4 touchdown game on our hands from the defending MVP. He's just
that defense.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just we did mention how good their defense is. It's just right now he's just playing at an unbelievable level.
I could see 3 of those 4 touchdowns in the first half. This is
okay.
Yeah, he's just too good. So. All right, so there's one little thing here before we go. I want to branch out and keep it on football, but there's a little bit of nostalgia coming through with a lot of people in the community playing video games recently, and some fans around our age, at least, are big time fans of newer sports games like Madden 20 and NBA 2K20 and things like that. But some guys, growing up, they played older versions and want to, kick it back to the throwback games and play something like, Madden 13 or Madden 12 or, Madden 07 or something like that, just because they had great times way back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've done a little bit of that recently, and I've purchased Madden 13 for my PlayStation 3, and going back to the older games and the older rosters are a little bit of an adjustment, but it's a great game, and the franchise mode is what I most likely love to play. But my shout out here is a little bit of free advertising. Okay, so anybody who is interested in playing Madden or even playing college, and they want up-to-date stuff, like up-to-date rosters and up-to-date coaches and whatnot, there's a little website called operationsports.com. This is like a community-based forum for people to just come on and tell their stories about their franchises and their created players and things like that. And there are a bunch of different categories like college football, NBA basketball, Madden, stuff like that, where you can post things and all this stuff. Well, we've got some very talented computer coders out in this world who are also football fans and sports video game fans, and they like to spend a lot of hours sitting in front of the screen and giving us diehard fans a lot of great work that we can use and updated rosters and things like this. And I'm coming across a 2019-2020 complete roster for all the Division I schools in college football, and I was able to download that onto my NCAA 13, and now I'm playing a 6-year-old video game with completely up-to-date rosters, and everybody is in there from every school, and it's just beautiful. It's a big shout out to all these guys working on it, and it's an incredible website to go on to, if you've got a computer and a USB, throw it on there, download some stuff, and then put it in your game. It's completely worth it. So if anybody's out there listening and you want some up-to-date stuff on some older games that you have sitting on there collecting dust, break them out, download some files, and have a ball, man. It's a great thing. So just wanted free advertising for Operation Sports there.
Wow, I'll have to check that out, because I was just currently playing the same game, NCAA Football 13, earlier in my franchise mode, and I just, it sounds pretty fun to, have updated rosters like that, so I'll have to check that out. And, I heard that there was another similar college football game coming out called Maximum Football 2019. I think it's going to involve pretty much all the colleges from Division I and II, and some even like different league schools. So that should be interesting to check out. It's not as much as a new game, but so I don't know how good the graphics or anything like that is, but fans ready for college football, maybe check that one out.
Yeah, definitely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Week 3 is in the books. Well, our picks are in the books. Week 3 is just about to start tomorrow night, man. It's going to be great. Get out there as much as you can. Turn on the tube. Watch some football. We are right in the middle of it. Smack dab in the middle of fall. Smack dab in the middle of football season. We're here, the great Thursday night pro, the great Friday night high school, Saturday all day college, all day Sunday NFL, Monday night football. It's a great 5-day stretch for football season. I love it, man. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Gamertime Shows podcast. You're probably listening to this on YouTube, so you know the link there. Anybody who wants to comment on Twitter at Gamertime Shows. And of course, once again, anybody wants to chime in with some talking points or any opinions or anything like that, you can do it on Twitter, like I said, or you can email too. You can email us at gamertimeshows@gmail.com. So that's out there as well. So everybody, I appreciate you all listening to our Week 3 picks. And for me and Mr. Mocious, go ahead, man.
Yeah, guys, just as Matt's saying, hey, us too, we're not afraid to listen to opinions. So if you want to throw ideas our way, we'll be glad to listen to them. Try to get some people on, try to do some other fun things with the football season here. So just let us know what you think, and just keep battling with us. And we're going for the top prize. So it's gonna be fun, and just keep following us and get us out there as much as you can.
Yeah, and also any more sponsors out there too. We're still taking those, so email me as well. All right, people, thanks for listening. Peace.